Hi everyone, it's LAR Games, and today we're watching the last episode of Fate Grand Order, an absolute demonic front Babylonia. And I just have to say, I'm extremely sad. This has easily been, like, my favorite thing to watch the last two seasons. Now it's gonna be gone. There is a kind of a silver lining here, and that's the fact that there was an announcement as well. Apparently, we're getting an anime adaptation of the singularity following this, the very last singularity, Solomon. And God, I'm very happy about that, because God, it just gets you right in the feels. I mean, it was a lot more impactful for me, since when you play the game, and when you've played the game as long as you have, the events in the story are happening at the same rate as, real life. So, all those events in the story, pretty much you went along with. Like, it felt like an adventure. And it all culminated into that one moment. Well, I say a moment, but it was, that one experience. And there were many moments particularly one that just made me, it made me tear up a lot. But it was the kind of crying where, like, I don't know, it was like, due to extreme pride. It's really hard to explain, because when you play the game, like, and when that happens, that certain moment, you kind of feel, wow, this has all been worth it, I went on this adventure, and this is the result. There's also sad moments where where sad tears came in that singularity, but I mean, I'm not going to spoil what's going to happen if, people haven't played the game. But yeah, Solomon is good stuff, and it has a lot of very important events. But yeah, the last episode of Babylonia. Super sad to see it go. But here we are. And last episode, well, we beat Tiamat finally. I have to say that the episode wasn't as impressive as some of the other ones, especially considering it was a final fight. But the Eresh moment did get me, like, deeply in the feels. So, that was one of the good parts. Well, I mean, I say good, but one of the horrible parts that I think was done really well. There may be some more stuff coming from Eresh in the future, but then again, the anime doesn't cover events, which are technically canon, because all the events in the game, like, gacha events, they're actually full of story as well, and they take place in the respective amount of time between singularities. So that would be, I don't know, like, I wish they would be adapted as well, but they're kind of like, if a singularity was a season, then the events would be like OVAs. But there's one specific one that I wish would get made into a movie. It's, like, seriously my favorite event in the entire game. And that one had a story so good that it made me fall in love with the character and made me cry. So there's so much good stuff in Fate Grand Order that I hope gets adapted someday. Specifically all the Halloween events, because I love Elizabeth a lot. Anyway, I've been rambling about the game. Let's watch this final episode. So I guess it's going to sum everything up and kind of conclude everything. Man, Mesh looks really good right now. This looks like the same area where they arrived. Yeah, she made it. She made it as well. A lot of people are going to be really happy that Quetz made it out. God, I freaking love her. Also, I'm so glad they didn't change her like the game did. That's like a big plus. Also, I do have to say that Quetz looks so much better without that headdress. Sadly, there were others that didn't get that same courtesy. That's what Mesh thought of. See, that is one of the reasons that Fujimaru is like kind of the perfect person for all of this, because the reason he impresses so many people is because he is weak. No. Aww. No, Jaguar Man. Fun fact, though, when you beat Babylonia, you get Jaguar Man for free. She comes along with you. Yeah, yeah. He knows what he did. Um, they're so friggin' similar. I mean, Roman is much less of a trickster, but still. Oh, don't mention her. Yeah. If only she could have done that in person. Of course. It has been something very interesting for him to watch. It's nice. The way he did that kind of made it seem like an Aqua trick. Or maybe he's the kind of tsundere that's like, only I can bully them. A friendship. Yeah, that was quite the battle. Now, are we gonna get some of that? Basically, the point of all this was things will continue on. Just take the cup then. Yep. That'll be very nice for his collection. I wonder if we're gonna get much stuff after. No, I don't think we're gonna get anything after. Or maybe we will. So pretty much gonna tease the beginning of Solomon. God, I love seeing Chaldea so much. Yep, there we go. That's it. Oh God, I'm so happy that we're actually getting it though. Because if this was just, you know, the last thing we saw, that would have been just, Solomon is a great conclusion. There's stuff after, obviously. You know, they call it part 1.5. And they're like multiple singularities that are pretty substantial. And all very good in their own way. So I hope like each one of them at some point gets an adaptation as well. And then part 2 starts, which hasn't started yet for you know, North America as of yet. So I still don't know what it's like. I've only played the prologue, and I have reacted to Moonlight Lostrum, which is kind of a prequel to the prologue of part 2. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next part of the story so bad. And of course, I also wish that the earlier singularities were adapted as well at some point. I really don't know, like, Camelot was the first, you know, really good long one. It's only going to get 2 movies. I always thought it was going to be 3, and I thought that would have fit it much better. You know, either that or also getting a season like Babylonia did. And the one before that, America, was the first really long one. That was the first singularity where I thought, wow, it's still not over. How is there this much content in just one singularity? And all the ones before that were pretty short, comparatively. So, yeah. But after that, like, every single one of them was substantial in length and quality. So, yeah. I mean, not that the other ones weren't, like, didn't have their merits or anything, but, you know, when you compare it to something like Babylonia, where it's like this huge and epic in scale and has this many feels and interesting dialogue and characters and stuff, the other, like, the benefit of having those other ones shows. It's all like Gilgamesh said, it's all, you know, additive. It all builds upon each other. to the point where the further you go in, the better it gets. It is harder for all of this that we just saw to make an impact without the experience of those previous ones, and especially Solomon. I mentioned it before the reaction started, that it was the fact that, all of those experiences built upon one another, that it had such an impact on me. Especially when it was that large amount of time as well. People that are playing through the game now and are just kind of just beating the story all at once instead of just playing it as it comes out and experiencing the story, almost in real time. It's kind of a different experience. And of course, that's even more different when, if all of Fate Grand Order gets animated, it's even more condensed. So, I don't know how people are going to react to Solomon. I know that they're going to think it's good because it is good, but, just to what extent is what I'm thinking. But yeah, this was, god damn, man. This is going to be one of my 10s because I just loved it so much from beginning to end. And even with the wonky, well, the 3D itself was good quality, but the improper use of 3D, I'd say, on character models. Even with that, I still think it was just, god, so good. I find it hard to believe that something this good could be made. This was such good quality, much more than you'd ever expect for, what people think of mobile games, essentially. And adaptations of VNs in general. Most of them just aren't done very well. And this was a kind of a double whammy in terms of potential failure, considering it was a mobile game and a VN at the same time. And a gacha, no less. So, just so many things had to go right for this to be as good as it did, and it just did. So, yeah, I've only had 4 10s ever in my anime list that I've rated, and this is going to be one of them now. One of the incredibly few. So with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.